So in book one, when we first meet Vladek Spiegelman, Art's father, it's around the time 1978, around there. Art is a full-grown man, and he's living his own life, and it's revealed right from the start that he and his father are not that close. So um, at the top there, you can read, I hadn't seen him in a long time, we weren't that close. So it's revealed that their relationship has been sort of fraught and dysfunctional, and there's tension that exists between um, father and son. We also get some insight into Vladek's state of health. So he is an elderly man at this point. He has suffered from 2 heart attacks, and again, he's not as strong or as capable as he once was. So his age is sort of catching up with him. We also learn that Vladek is remarried, so Anya has passed away. She has committed suicide earlier when Art was still in college. And now Vladek is remarried to Mala, who was also a Holocaust survivor. Their relationship, Mala and Vladek's relationship, is also sort of dysfunctional, and you get the sense that they are constantly butting heads with one another. Vladek seems to always complain about his relationship with Mala. We learn some of what Vladek was like as a young man. So prior to the Holocaust, it's almost as if he was a different person, right? He's described as very nice, young, handsome, strong. He had a lot of female admirers, right? There's the story of his first relationship with Lucia prior to meeting Anya, and she was sort of um, infatuated with Vladek, who again he sort of looked handsome like a movie star, like Rudolph Valentino, and he had this an affair with her before he even met Art's mother, Anya. In this early part of the book, we also are sort of introduced to Anya's character, and she is a sort of contrast to the character of Lucia, Vladek's first girlfriend. Anya is less physically attractive, but she's more sort of intellectual. She's sensitive and kind, and she begins sort of a correspondence, writing letters back and forth with Vladek, and he seems to sort of fall in love with her mind rather than just her physical beauty. She's attracted to Vladek because he's, again, very handsome and nice. And there's also this issue of Anya's family background. So she is very wealthy. She comes from a family of millionaires. For Vladek, who again has sort of a working man's background, it's revealed here that he had to quit school at age of 14 to go to work, and he works with clothing and textiles. So he's sort of had to make it himself. So he's sort of a self-made man, a working man, and there's probably a little bit of attraction to Anya's wealth and her family background. So she's more of a sort of marrying type, whereas Lucia is more just a sort of physical chemistry that he had with her. So Anya and Vladek fall in love, and there's some sort of hint that maybe Vladek was interested in Anya because of her wealthy parents, and he's a bit of an opportunist. But I do think the story conveys that this is a love story and that they have this bond that again lasts their entire lifetimes and then even beyond. So it is not really questioned whether they were not in love. It's just the fact that Vladek is a man who is very much open and willing to see the opportunities in life, and again, he's got sort of ambitions and goals for himself, and he'll carry through with these goals. And we get a sense that Lucia was not, Vladek was never going to marry her, right? That's not the kind of woman that he was wanting to settle down with. Anya, as he is sort of shown in this series of panels, was very sensitive and intelligent and he could have picked any woman, right? He's that handsome, but he wants Anya. We also gain some insight into Anya's character, her personality. It's revealed that she does suffer from a sort of nervous condition. Possibly she just has a sort of she has a kind of mental illness and suffers from sort of anxiety and depression, and this will become prevalent after she gives birth to their first son, Rishu, and suffers from postpartum depression. Here there is a sort of foreshadowing where Vladek discovers that Anya is taking pills, and it's revealed she does so because the doctor has prescribed her pills for being so skinny and nervous, and this doesn't stop him from again falling in love with her. It's just a little foreshadowing or indication that maybe she suffers from mental illness, and this will become a prominent theme or idea that will affect her for the rest of her life. And we know she eventually will commit suicide after the Holocaust, so many years later when Art is in university. So again, there's a sense that there's indications that she has a mental illness. Eventually, Vladek and Anya would marry. This is following Vladek sort of breaking up with Lucia, and there being this sort of tension and conflict as she sort of sends a letter to Anya revealing that Vladek is not a very nice man, that he has a lot of girlfriends and he's just using her. So Vladek again is able to convince Anya that his love is real, that he is not just marrying her for her money, and eventually they do end up together. And then Vladek is hired, or he starts working for Anya's father, who is again a wealthy business owner who works with textiles. So Vladek is able to work and again reap some of the benefits of marrying into Anya's family. So following from Rishu's birth, after Anya gives birth to their first son, she suffers from a sort of breakdown, nervous breakdown, postpartum depression, we probably diagnose it as now. And they have to, or the family agrees to send her to a sanitarium in Czechoslovakia, and Vladek is going to accompany her. So at this point, I thought we could listen to an audio recording of Vladek describing this part of the story to Art. So I just want you to pay attention to his dialect and how the audio recordings sounded like to Art. So he took these testimonies and then would create Mouse out from his taped recordings of his father.
Once I got a telephone from my parents, from her parents, that I have to come immediately home and to lock up the factory. Of course, immediately home I was afraid what happened, but I came home. I have seen that she is sick, how she is laying. She started crying when she see me. And the doctor said that she has to go to a specialist sanatorium. In Czechoslovakia there is a sanatorium, what it's called Freiwaldau. And this sanatorium is for such people like her. But she cannot go alone. She has to go with somebody else. Not only with somebody else, but with somebody who loves her dearly. Only a mother, or how is the husband? They told the doctor that the husband is like the mother. He loves her and he will do everything for her. So my father-in-law said, we picked out you and to arrange passports, and you, with N, will go to Freiwaldau to Czechoslovakia. And I will go back to Bielsko and I will take care of the factory.
So one of the interesting things that we can do is look at Vladek's character, but also look at his 3 different relationships with women that are depicted in the book. The first one with Lucia, which again seems a very one-sided relationship, more of a sort of physical attraction, not the marrying type of relationship that he has with Anya. And then his relationship with Anya, which seems to be the central love story of Mouse. And in many ways, Mouse is a love story, right, between Art's parents, how they met, how they fell in love, the struggles they went through separations and reuniting at the end. And the story will end on a sort of happy note in regards to their reunion following the Holocaust. And even though we know that Anya's uh, dies tragically from suicide, it seems to be the enduring message or idea of the book that these two loved each other and their love will again transcend all obstacles. Um, so it has a tragic ending in regards to Anya's life, even though Mouse itself is a sort of celebration of their love story. And it is a stark contrast between Anya and Vladek's marriage and then Mala and Vladek's relationship. So in the present uh, moments of the book, when he is married to Mala, they are always at odds with one another, and it seems as if Vladek has never really moved on from Anya. He still sort of holds on to her memory and her death, and doesn't seem to have the same sort of connection or love for Mala that he did for Anya. So we get a sense that the true love story in the book is between Vladek and Anya, and that's the main relationships that's depicted in the inset story. So throughout his experience of the Holocaust, it is about his relationship with Anya and how the two of them are sort of against the entire world, fighting for their lives together and their survival as a sort of unified couple. So one of the things that we can think about, and you can work on this in your small groups on the wiki pages, is to compare and contrast some of the changes that you see between Vladek as he's depicted as a young man, how strong and healthy and confident and capable he is, how he's sort of takes charge and is a leader and takes care of his family, and Anya in particular, how strong and um, how she's sort of dependent on him for her life, and how he supports his family and provides for them. He becomes a kind of breadwinner for his entire family. And then contrast that with Vladek as an old man. So we see him sort of tired, sickly, ill health, very sort of angry, hostile, suffering from anxiety, and kind of just angry at life and with a very short temper, lacks that kind of compassion and kindness, how nice he was as a young man. He doesn't really have that anymore. So I want you to sort of think about some of the conflicts or some of the transformations that occur within Vladek's character as he transforms from a young man, newly married, and then experiences everything that he experiences over the course of his story will in fact sort of change him, harden him as he has to survival and struggle for his own existence and to fight for life in a day-to-day struggle of survival. So how he becomes the old man that we see in the present sections of the book, where he is very much on the nerves of Mala and Art and just making people's lives sort of more difficult. Um, I think we can all sort of, again, relate as well to if you have any experience of interacting with someone of an older generation. Often they are very sort of stuck in their ways. Their personality has sort of been formed from suffering and hardship in the past. I sort of think of not my parents, but my sort of grandparents' generation who suffered through the Depression and the deprivation that they experienced of rationing, and how even nowadays you get sort of admonished by grandparents or parents for being wasteful. Our generation is so wasteful, and you get in trouble for leaving the refrigerator door open or something like that, right? So it's just how your personality was formed through the sort of suffering and hardship of the past, whether it's the depression or